Good morning, everybody. This is Darren Redmond for Redmond's Morning Glory. As you know, we're kind of doing a late night show like we've been doing. It's been getting very popular, and that's a good thing. And I want to thank you for that. You're a part of that. The way that we're able to grow each and every day. At least once a week, we're going to do a show with Uncle Tony. He will be the lead person on that show. It's great down with Uncle Tony. And one of the wonderful things that we get a lot of private messages about it, is that it's so real. It's two people just having a conversation. Sometimes it's three when we bring the hockey guru along as well for that. And we're just talking, no agenda, just sort of riffing about whatever is important to us at that moment of time. So we want to thank you for that. And a little lighting situation there. So thank you for with us last night. Tony brought to our attention a wonderful Scotch whiskey that an Oban, 14 year. We talked a little bit of cigars and we spoke a lot of sports. So in the morning, we like to talk about some of the things that people may be talking about all day. What we like to do at night, Redmond's wrap up. We wrap up what happened during the day. So without giving enough attention to these multimillionaires, and I say that with no shade because I'm a big-time capitalist. I mean, one time when we want to talk about it, I'm a big believer in you go out there, you earn your living, you make your money, and even if people don't like it, too bad. So there's a network out there that seems to be driven by going after low-hanging fruit and by a certain ability to ignore some sports like hockey. They don't ignore baseball, but they don't give it a lot of light. But they will go wax poetic about how they have MMA on the same network that they actually play cornhole. I want you to think about that. On their first or their second network, or the network where they try to sponge a little bit of money off of people to watch the sport that they want, they have cornhole. They have cornhole. ABC Wild World of Sports used to have bowling and used to have Demolition Derby on Wide World of Sports because they wanted to show the wide world of sports. Not corner. Just trying to get by, as they probably would label me or us at FHT, not D. FHT. 2 millionaire ankle biters that really attacked Derek Carr. If you've been following my vlogs, you know I've called for him to sit a game, to be benched a game. And they bring up that fake QBR stat. It's funny, you make up a stat and all of a sudden, supposedly it has validity because the robots of the world just follow that stat. They bring up that Derek Carr finished in the bottom 4 of QBR. No interceptions in the second half of the season. Brilliantly quarterback this team of just not much there. Guy could have did better earlier in the season. We know this. We talk about this. But when you lay out an easy target for your political agenda, whatever it is, and again, I'm a big believer in freedom of speech, but that works both ways. And it's easy to attack. It's safe. You take this safe route. Why don't you actually talk about something controversial and try to back it up instead of taking a pulse of which way you want the wind to blow, which will give you the most hits and likes. But you know what? It's successful. It works for you. So God bless. Derek Carr, you responded. I wouldn't respond again because they're just haters. They're just haters. And, they pick some people that they want to shine. They pick some people they want to rain on. They didn't respect you when you were at Fresno State. Because I was there. I was at every single game. And this is before I picked up my journalistic pen and microphone at FHT Sports. They didn't even scout you. They had no idea who you were. Admitted as such. Go back in the tapes. Go look. They were ignorant of anything that was west of the Colorado Rockies that's not named LeBron James. We know this. I lived in the East Coast. I live now on the West Coast. I love both places for different reasons. New York was a great place to grow up, and West Coast is a great place to raise my kids. But even though they'll put this certain studio, this certain network puts stuff out on the West Coast now, which is smart and good to do. They're eccentric, aren't they? They've got their marching orders about the SEC network, and if it doesn't take place in Alabama or Tennessee or someplace around there, seems to be the only time that network actually cares about that part of the country. Isn't it funny? You talk about social progress, and that's a good thing. You talk about an understanding of culture in this country and how diverse and beautiful it is. But you only seem to go down south when it fits your college football profile. And then you either ignore it or make fun of it. Let's see. We have the wonderful NASCAR season coming up soon. Even though I hate this stage racing, we'll talk about that. That's a disgrace. Stage racing is a disgrace. And there are the old giants of the game of racing who just, they try to say the right things. But you think Richard Petty respects a stage racer as much as him getting in a sweaty hot car driving 500 miles when you had Kyle Yarborough banging your side bumper all day? But the only time they seem to care about the South is in football. Instead, you're just a bunch of rubes. You're a bunch of rubes. Unless you are exploiting a situation that somebody has and you have a little piano music. And you have former MTV, disc jockeys, video jockeys doing narration. And you're trying to create that narrative. Now, what does it have to do with Derek Carr? Everything. Because Derek Carr, when you were at Fresno State, setting records, and had that disgusting performance against San Jose State, we know that. Your team just laid an egg. But, and it shouldn't be about the stuff that's off the field. You've done so much for the community here in the Central Valley. You've wore the silver and black with pride when other people vacated and ran. Just getting attacked by two millionaires on the East Coast who don't care about you. You're just an easy target for them to sound somehow caring about the bigger picture for whatever their agenda is. So, Derek, you just do what you do. Just be the person you are, the man of faith that you are. And no aspersions. You're like, wait a minute, Darren, you just spent 8-9 minutes slamming somebody. No, I haven't. There's nothing that I've said that's other than opinion based on fact. So, you have the NHL All-Star competition coming up this weekend. That certain network, how much are they covering it? I mean, they maybe Steve Levy does a little something. How much are they covering it? How much are they covering the upcoming NASCAR? Joe Logano coming back as a defending champion. And what he did before, what he's doing now, how he took over the mantle for Tony Stewart. No, but just go trash Derek Carr all day. You go do that. In a hailstorm of stuff going on, the man in the second half of the season did not throw an interception. Won a couple of games, basically knocked the Steelers out of the playoffs. Oh, I'm sorry. The Steelers knocked themselves out of the playoffs because the Raiders weren't trying. I mean, grow up. Let's pretend that you don't really just wear the fake beard. I mean, the 5 o'clock shadow for a look. So, it is what it is. And that's okay. That's okay. So, there's no hate there. Just an observation. Half the season, I don't think there's a better quarterback. Oh, you can go to QBR, which is just a made-up stat. We know what that is from that network. But that's what it is. So, what else we want to talk about? Golden State. Ratings are down in the NBA. I'm a huge NBA fan. It's funny. People want to laud and the Patriots. But you have Golden State, who's just as popular, and they want to take him out. Oh, it's not fair. They got Boogie Cousins. It's not. What's not fair? They're 9-1 in the month of January because they're kicking your ass. They're kicking your ass. Steve Kerr is a wonderful coach. They're doing some things. They improve their team year after year. year after year, sort of like the Patriots do. Patriots have a guy that they built around for 18, 19 years in Tom Brady. Not so long with Steve Curry, with Curry, but Stephen Curry, but the same kind of mode. They're just very successful. Stop the hate. Now, LeBron James. LeBron James was selected on the NBA All-Star team as a captain. He hasn't played since Christmas. We know this. What do I think about it? Who cares? It's because it's not basketball to begin with. It's not basketball at all. It's a highlight show, and that's okay. That's what the fans want. The All-Star games are what the fans want. And if you're not going to really play a game like you do in baseball, even though no longer is the World Series have anything to do with the All-Star game, they seem to play very hard, or harder than the other All-Star games. Who cares if the fans want to see? That's why, how this guy's over the hill, how is he starting? Because the fans want to see him play. Because this person's shelf life is getting smaller and smaller, and the fans want to see him play. Is it that much? Is that hard to do? Is that hard to do? Back to the Derek Carr thing. And, it's funny, when you have an opinion that's a little different than some others, people just shake their head and they either want to call you stupid or they want to call you a conspiracy guy because they defer back to the words that they've been taught to use. A couple of years ago when Derek Carr got hit, he got hit hard. There was a lot of mumblings about some discontent in that locker room. That, a team a year before that made sure, with pretty much the same offensive line, the man was never hit. He was just abused that year. Wonder why? I don't know. It's an open question. I coached offensive line in college, and when Derek Carr was back, there was a lot of Ole blocks going on. Don't know why, a lot of Ole blocks, but to Derek's credit, to the Oakland Raiders' credit, it stayed in-house as it should. You don't believe that stuff really matters? I want you to think about Geno Smith when he took a punch to the jaw, broke his jaw by one of the defense. Ended up going to the Patriots. Forget his name right now. A friend of mine played in the NFL, and the first thing he said to me was this. He said, "Look, Darren," he said, Darren, the fact that you didn't hear about a lot of people in the locker room coming to Geno's defense, he told me this privately, means that they were happy with that, the fact that Geno got punched in the mouth. Now, they wouldn't come across that way and tell you that on certain stations, would they? But that was the truth, wasn't it? And Geno Smith soon disappeared from the New York Jet locker room because they endorsed whatever happened that day. And that's okay. Things in the locker room should stay in the locker room. And as, we've made the turn, the transition, I've made the turn to more of a commentator, a deliverer of social media content that is specific to sports. You have to respect that locker room. Everybody wants to be deep throat, right? Everybody wants to be the guy or the lady who has the big story, the big scoop. Well, here's the deal. These are human beings. They have feelings. Now, they get paid a lot of money, but my point is that they're real people. They have good days. They have bad days. And if somebody tells you to keep something off the record, it's your duty to do so. If you don't, shame on you. Shame on you. It's for my viewers or for my readers. No, it's not. It's for your selfishness. It's for yourself. If there's no crime that's been committed, keep it to yourself. But here's the idea. Actually show up to the game first instead of mailing it in, literally. So, Hall of Fame, I want to talk a little bit more about that probably tonight or over the course of the weekend. My question is, if you're going to keep Barry Bonds out, you're going to keep Roger Clemens out, how do you put their managers in? If you're going to keep McGuire out, how do you put Tony La Russa in? You're going to keep Roger Clemens out. How do you put Joe Torre in? Square that round hole. How do you do that? Because their careers, managerial careers, were directly affected by a person that you're penalizing for using steroids and not letting them in the Hall of Fame. How do you do both? Or is it the old boy network? I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. You let me know. So, in recap, the people at a certain network who attack certain people, we understand what that is. It is what it is. and they take the safe route and pretend to be bold and edgy. But but in reality, what they are is they're a laydown. They're a lazy tenured professor. They are a lazy tenured professor who all they do is speak to themselves, and that's what they do. Agenda-driven, lazy tenured professors. And I have my master's degree in education. You don't believe that? Bring it out and bring your facts. Bring your facts. Let's go. So, Golden State, I'm sorry that they're just damn good. They're just better than the rest of the league right now. And a big fan of, I'm a Knicks fan and a Golden State fan. Big fan of them. And then 9-1. And they just keep getting better and better every year. And, that's what they do. Until you can stop them, shut up. LeBron James, being in the All-Star game, he's in the All-Star game because people want to see him there. It's that simple, and that's okay. Is that the worst crime in the world? Well, he hasn't played since Christmas. So what? The fans want to see him. If I was to bring my young son or my daughter to a game, an All-Star game, I'd want to see LeBron James there to say, I've seen him play in an All-Star game. You just want to do that. I remember going to Yankee Stadium. Not that the Yankee Stadium that was refurbished in 1976. I remember going in 1969, 1970. And they are keeping players out of the Hall of Fame. No, what I'm saying is, yes, exactly. What I'm saying is that there are people right now, such as Mark McGwire, such as Barry Bonds, such as Roger Clemens, who either took steroids. Yes, I know you do have an opinion on this. But yet they put their managers in. So how do you do that? How do you square that around? It's just, either you look at it one way or you look at it the other way. So how do you let the managers in for getting victories with these steroid users? Or you just say, look, everybody took it at the time, everybody knows, but yet these people on the field, this is what they did, the games count. It's not the Reggie Bush situation where they vacate the wins, maybe the most stupidest thing I've ever heard that the NCAA does. And so that's what happens. So, but back to Yankee Stadium. I remember going to Yankee Stadium with my father and with my uncle, who just came back from Vietnam, and thank you for your service. And I remember them saying, look, take a good look around. They got the monuments in center field. This is going to change. And it didn't matter who they were playing. It didn't matter what the score was. It didn't matter if the Yankees won or lost. Didn't matter. But what mattered was the fact that I was there. So if somebody wants to see an All-Star game with LeBron James in it, and people vote that way, and the players vote that way, then you know what? LeBron James is making money for everybody. He's making the league into one of the. It's always been one of the best leagues, but I think you understand what I'm saying. So people want to see him. People want to see Wayne Gretzky toward the end of his career when he's with the Blues, being in the All-Star game, whatever. God bless. That's fine. That's the worst problem you're ever going to have. That you have some of these people in the All-Star game, even though they don't deserve it. People want to see it because it's a legacy. It's actually a testimony to how important sports is in our lives. So you're able to share with your child, your daughter, your son. Remember that time we went to the All-Star game, we saw LeBron James play? Remember that time we went to the All-Star game, we saw Gretzky play? I think you understand what I'm saying. Remember that time Carl Ripken, broke Lou Gehrig's record? We saw him play. Actually hit a home run in his last All-Star game. Maybe he didn't deserve to be there, but of course he did. People wanted to see him. So, the Monsters, the Fresno Monsters are in Seattle this weekend. Seattle, if you're looking for an AHL team, I'm telling you, Fresno's the place to go. Killer Kaminsky has his team on a roll. Long Beach has 5-6 games in hand. So when you see somebody who thinks they know marketing pretty well, and they're like, well, we're in first place right now. No, you're not in first place right now because the other team has 5 games in hand. You're equal in points. You need to put in that perspective. But I understand what you're doing. You're getting ahead of your skis a little bit. So feel free to give us a call, and we'll help you through that. But right now, oh, by the way, The president of the WSHL still hasn't contacted us. It's day 51, I think. But Killer Kaminsky has the Fresno Monsters playing at a very high clip right now. What's going to go on with the trading deadline? What's going to go on the trading deadline? You know, who may go, who may not? Where may there be needs? Where are they heavy? Who knows? Do they move a goalie? Do they bring in a scorer? Do they move a popular person who might play one of the starting positions right now to try to get some longevity into the playoffs? Who knows? That's what makes Killer so great, is that the team he starts with by the end of the year, it's performance driven. You either bring it every day, don't take stupid penalties, listen, and win. I mean, that's really it. And he is masterful at it. So we have Fresno State basketball has some important games coming up. We're going to be covering it all. This is Darren Redmond for Darren's Morning Glory. And we'll be on tonight for Redmond's wrap-up. Remember, the Uncle Tony and Darren show once a week right here on FHT Sports. Thank you very much and have a great day.